Man, how long has it been since I played Honkai Star Rail? The last time I played this game was, I believe, sometime when Kafka was available. The first and last Honkai Star Rail summon video. That video first released on August 21st, 2023, and that was the last... Wait, was that the only video I don't remember. That was the only video that I've done in terms of summons, but the last time I even talked about Honkai Star Rail was back in September 25th. So about a month after that video was uploaded. It has been quite a long time since I played Honkai Star Rail, and it was roughly around that time when Kafka was first going through her banner, I believe. I actually don't know if I logged on to this account or if it's a different account. I'll know for sure. Fate Contract. I forgot that there's a Fate Stay Night collab. Well, there you go. We got the Archer. Somehow, we got the Archer by doing absolutely nothing. Welcome back to the Trailblazing Expedition. Yorichika. It's been... Why did I name myself Yorichika? I forgot. Oh no, I forgot everything. I forgot. It's been so long. I forgot. I forgot so much. There's so much going on. This is what I get. Look, I didn't even go level 60 at all. That's how long it's been since I've played this freaking game. Button select. What am I looking at? Well, you know, whatever. I don't even plan on playing the game anymore, so that's fine. All right, so give me that. Planar Fisher. Yeah, there's just so much. There's so much to do. What is that? Is that a dinosaur? Scarlet Homecoming? I don't know. Apocalyptic Shadow? You got camping in the snow. That's permanent? Oh, you get to unlock her. Oh, sweet. Then you got Aptitude Showcase, Evernight. We also got the Herda. Oh, so she eventually got an upgrade. Sweet. Then Misha. Winifin. Shuyi. I don't know. Yay, Message from Beyond. Yeah, so these characters over here, then these characters over here. We also got the light cones. Both of them. And then you have Saber right over here. And Stellar Warp. Jesus. Alright. Oh, right. These two. I don't have enough. Well, I'm not surprised. I'm broke. You know what? 1 10 pull is all I need to do. Watch this be the one. Nope. It would have been nice. I do have a 4-star of some kind, though. Who the hell are you? Hanya? I mean, hi, I guess. Got a new character. I don't know who. Everything's so scary to me. Only because I have no idea what I'm doing. There's just so much. Okay, so if I wanted to check characters, yeah, it's gonna be right over here. 73? What do you mean there's 73 characters on here? So, here we are today. We're gonna go and react to some of these characters over here. It's been 2 years since I last played this game. A little over 2 years. And to be honest, I'm scared and afraid. Because everything is just so new to me. Because who knew that there was going to be 73 characters since I last played this game? That is so quick. But with that said, we're going to do our best to go through each character here. I don't think there's going to be in any particular order. Maybe we'll start with the 4 stars and then we'll work our way up to 5-star characters. I think that's the best approach. Starting with the ones that I do have and then go down to the ones that I don't have somehow and work our way from there. And then we go with 5 stars, and then the 5 stars that I do have, and then the other stars that I don't have. The other 5 stars that I do not have. So we're gonna start with anyway, sure, March 7th. Why not? As how these ratings will go, I do not care about the story, the backstory of each character. I have no particular affiliation, especially towards gameplay, especially considering that I've barely even touched Honkai Star Rail in comparison to Hoyo versus other games like Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero. I personally am only going to judge the character based on the outfit, based on the design, and that's it. Ah, okay, good. We can actually get rid of the text. Nice. All right, and then we could just go zoom in. All right, nice. Alrighty, so this is essentially the poster girl of Honkai Star Rail, March 7th. And I mean, she does look kind of cute-ish. It is hard to judge her without making any mention of her gameplay, but I will do my best. I do like the use of pastel colors on this character design. Yeah, from the back, it actually does look quite nice. I love the design of the bow over here. Damn it. She is a very quirky girl. That is pretty much my conclusion of March 7th. Isn't she named March 7th because of... I think it's the date when she was discovered, right? Because if I remember correctly, she was encased in ice, and then someone eventually found her. At the time when I started playing the game, I think she had no memory of herself, right? Yeah. Yeah, the use of pastel on the use of pastel colors is used effectively. So in this case, this is an 8 out of 10 character. Before I go any further, I should also say this as well, just so we don't have a repeat of Tower of Fantasy. If the character does have any alternate costumes, we're not looking into that. Otherwise, this video is going to be longer than it actually is. We have 75 characters to go through. I'm not gonna go extend the video even further than it should be. I'm just saying. Watch as I break my promise. Dan Heng. All right, not bad of an outfit. It's simple. It is very simple, but it is effective. I don't think it's going to catch that many eyes compared to March 7th's outfit design, but it is nice to look at. Get the jade. Get the jade, especially down where his thigh strap is. Ooh, and his arm too. Yeah, he's got like something red on his eye just below it. You know, I didn't even realize this, but he has like earrings that are not earrings. They're just connected from behind. It looks like earbuds. Yeah, especially with that little switch over here. Y'all remember when earphones from Apple used to have that control switch? Ah, man, why the zipper? Why are there 2 zippers here? Isn't one enough? Overall, I think this is going to be a 7 out of 10. It's not a particularly bad design, but I would prefer March 7th design over Dan Heng's. It's just preference, that's all. Yay. Astra. She works at the Herta space station, or however it was called. It's just too bad there's no way for me to just scroll up or scroll down, right? There is no way for me to do that. Because I would love to just slide it down just to look at her feet. That's even weirder. Why would I say that? she doesn't particularly stand out. Is there really something that I do like about her in terms of design? Her hairstyle's nice. Let's see. There's a little lantern right there. Or at least I hope that's a lantern. That could easily be a telescope too. Back's only just fine-ish. Yeah, there isn't too much for me to fully latch onto. I do like the little detail on her ID badge. That's cute. Yeah, I gotta say though, compared to Genshin Impact's models, they do look nicer. Though I think that might be because it's a more linear game, quote unquote, compared to Genshin Impact, the designers that have a little more wiggle room to utilize the game's engine to its fuller extent. So that's why you have more intricate designs, or at least like intricate designs, and then you have like details that wouldn't be possible in a game of like Genshin. That also might be down to the theming of most Genshin characters compared to the characters that you would find in Honkai Star Rail. And that's going to be, I think that's going to be a recurring theme once we go through a lot of these characters. It's standard, but not necessarily a bad standard. She would probably hover over a 6 out of 10. All right, Herta. Yeah, you know, it didn't really occur to me until after a few hours of playing the game. I didn't realize that, a few hours into playing the game, after meeting with Herta, I didn't realize until after an hour that Herta is a doll. It's a marionette doll, or some kind of doll. Yeah, I see the joints that where it's just connected by a ball, and then you also have her hands right over here that look like a puppet's. Same thing with her arms over there. Her joints here, they just connect like so. The only thing that isn't particularly puppet-like would be the torso, the chest, the head, or at least it doesn't appear to be that way. Yeah, this is the only thing that's quote unquote natural. But when you look at the character as a whole, you do see the puppet features. I don't know why I didn't realize it until like an hour or two later, but it is a really nice detail. It's a character detail that I find endearing-ish, because at the very least it's a unique idea. Not the first time I've seen it, but it is one that I have an interest in. For someone like Herta, she would be an 8 out of 10. Serval. Yeah, I remember her. Yeah, I remember her. And I especially remember her burst. No joke though, her burst is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to main this character, back when it was new. She was that cool. Looking at her now, after 2 years, I mean, do I still feel the same way? Yeah, I definitely do. I seriously love the aesthetic of what Serval is emanating from. The highlights over here in the back of her hair, the straps on her arms. Something about her, even though it's a 4-star design, it definitely feels more than that. There's a little more effort put in compared to the characters that we have seen so far. And as such, I would give this a 9 out of 10. Natasha. All right, Natasha. If I remember correctly, Natasha should be voiced by Elizabeth Maxwell, right? Yeah, Elizabeth Maxwell. So for those who don't know, in the Hoyo games, Elizabeth Maxwell voices characters like Rosaria from Genshin Impact, and she also voices, from what I remember, Evelyn from Zenless Zone Zero. So there is going to be a bit of a bias here because of that, but I will try to remain as partial as possible. People may not like this, but this definitely has motherly vibes. Now, there's a difference between mommy vibes and motherly vibes. Let's just get that out of the way first. Whenever I see a character like her, I just think that she has those kinds of eyes that say, don't worry, everything is gonna be all right. You can come to me whenever you want. So I imagine most people would come to her. Yeah, I said it. Oh, what the hell? Maybe even in her too. I do believe she's a medic, right? It has been a while since I played the game, but I do remember her being a medic. Or at least that's as much as I do remember. That's a nice teddy bear right there. I don't remember why she has that. I'm sure it's for the kids. I hope. And even from the back, though, the back is what intrigues me far more than what the front is. The front, I think that it's an effective front side, all things considered. But when you look at the back, there's a bit more interesting details over here. Like the insignias that she has on the back, have this bow right here. I actually do think that having a bow like this, that kind of like, yeah, this does it for me. You know, I think this is just going to be another 9 out of 10. Hela. Yeah, this character, I vaguely remember her. Very vaguely. I don't think she's actually a kid, but I do think she's just very short. I think so, because I think her voice is fairly deep, right? Dantyun.
Pelageya Sergeyevna, Silvermane Guard's intelligence officer at your service. You can call me Pela. You ready? Let's start the records for the day.
I actually do not remember if she's... Nah, she shouldn't be a kid, right?
The reports look pretty normal today. You can go have some rest.
I do not remember. Character details? Yeah, I don't remember. Again, it has been a while. But design-wise, I do think the hat carries so much. I think it hard carries. Had it not been for the hat, I think that she would probably get a lower score, perhaps a 6 or a 7. Right now, with the hat and everything that goes along with Pela's outfit, this would be an 8 out of 10. I do think there's 1 or 2 things that I might take away here. First and foremost, the hair clips, especially the ones that are on the side of just that's like on her, like what are they, extensions? I want to say extensions. I don't even think it looks natural. Why have that much hair just hanging like that? Just cut that out. Just cut it out. But my uniqueness, you already have enough of that with that hat of yours. Come on. But that's just me. But yeah, this is definitely going to be an 8 out of 10. Sanpo. Personality-wise, I hate this guy. Why? I do not like him, Charlie. His smug aura mocks me. Look at this smug asshole, man. Anyway, and it hurts me so much more because I genuinely think that this is a pretty good design. Not great, but I think it's a really good design. Such a this smug jackass, man. Wait. What is that? Did I just see that right? My brother in Christ, where is your shirt? Do you even have a shirt on? Do you even have underwear on, for that matter? Where is it? Where? Why is there a defined line just right there, Hoyoverse? Jesus Christ. Look at that. This man has no shame. Ah, you know what? That explains the smile then. Ah, okay. 7 out of 10. Here comes Hook. Man, this is just adorable. Look at her. How could you say no to this little ball of fun? For some people, she looks she looks like you can kick her like a football. That big ass hat of hers is doing the heavy lifting. I didn't realize it before, but her hat is definitely asymmetrical, especially with the way that the left side of her hat is just folded upwards, and then you have the right side, which is just normal. Got a little book, a little cat book. 2 cat books. Yeah, design-wise, I just think that she looks so adorable. This isn't a word that I would normally use for a character like her, but she looks fluffy. Though that might be because of the way that her jacket floofs like that. Though it's just too bad that the texture of the hat doesn't necessarily translate that, but you kind of get what I mean though, right? This is going to be an 8 out of 10. Luca. I really hate how biased I am with characters that don red and black. Because this is actually such a damn good design. You have the robot arm, and you also have... I think the only thing that I'm not too jazzed about is just his ponytail. I think he looks fine without it. In fact, if you just look at it like this, if you just look at it just from the front, he looks fine without the ponytail. But it's when you start moving the camera, then you see this. It kind of ruins it. I get it. I do get why that's up there, but it's just something I'm not a big fan of, honestly. If he just had that kind of cut where it's short, but not short enough to the point where it would classify as medium, I'll be more accepting of it. I'd probably be far more receptive towards it. But because of the tail, just whatever. He's lucky though that almost everything else about him looks kind of cool, and as such, it's going to be an 8 out of 10. Chinke, or however you want to say it. I didn't realize how short she really is. I didn't realize. I don't think I've ever realized how short she really is in comparison to March 7th. Or Astra, for that matter. Why the hell is she so puny? It's just something I never truly realized until maybe a couple... Because I remember getting her and then switching over characters sometimes, but I didn't realize how short she is in comparison to the Trailblazer. She's kid size, but not necessarily adult size. She's pretty much the same size as Pina, right? Hela. Well, I guess for some people, she would be considered fun size. I don't hate it. It's simple. It's fairly simple, but I don't hate it either. It's like, I would say that the design of the outfit is simple, but not to the point where it becomes boring. I guess just to put it simply, it's just not boring to look at, because there's enough detail to keep it from being like anything else that one would see. Though with that said, it's still not a lot to write home about, and as such, it would probably go for a 7 out of 10. Tingyun, oh jeez. Oh Jesus. I didn't realize that she has her toes out for free. You freak. You absolute freak, and you know it. I remember what happened to her in the story. I didn't actually play through the game far enough to see what happens to her, but you can thank the memes for that. She pretty much just shafted way too hard. Damn, that tail though is so fluffy. I almost want to feel it. Just stroke it. I want to stroke Tingyun's tail just to feel how fluffy it is. Yeah, I know what I said. Design-wise, yeah, I just think that a lot of it just seems great. Ooh, wait. Well, the comb, well, yeah, it's just combs. All right, that's fine. I'm actually okay with that. Just one hairpiece to the side, not the other. The face also does it too. It's not as smug compared to Sanpo, but it is good enough to make me feel something. If a character's face is doing that for someone like me, they're doing something right. Yeah, the outfit also matches up with the hair too. All right, yeah, that's something I would praise-ish. I do feel that there's one element missing. I'm not so sure what it is, though. Might be... I think something's missing, right where the shoulders are. If you wore more white, just to cover up the shoulders and maybe parts of the arm, I think this might work out a little better. If you wore a proper top underneath what she has right now, I could see this working out. Though it is a big maybe, though. Oh, but then that would also cover the back too, would it? And this is why I'm not a character designer. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I think this would probably constitute an... you know what? I'll just give her a 9 out of 10. It's fine. Sushang. I don't know what you want me to say about a character design like this. It is the most character to exist. She has an outfit. She has a face. She has hair. She has bells. In all seriousness, though, I do see that she has a thigh strap on here. I don't hate this. I know that I've said this consistently with the characters in Tower of Fantasy, but a lot of the characters that are in there that have thigh straps, it just looks like they're suffocating the thigh. Like, a little too much, to the point where it's kind of comedic. This one doesn't seem as exaggerative, and that's at least something that I could commend. Well, somewhat. Especially if you squint closely. You can tell that there is a little bit of squish, but not to the point where it's comical. I don't know if I agree with the purple on yellow. This feels too much like this character has a color palette that's reminiscent of Wario. And I don't know if I want to make that comparison with a character like her. It's not a particularly bad outfit. It's not a particularly bad character design. I just don't think that there's too much to go off of at all. Maybe her story might make up for it, but yeah, I just don't vibe with this character. A 6 out of 10. Yukong. Okay. Okay. Facially, this is nice. I do like the little detail here, because here, if you pay attention to her bangs, if I move slightly, you can see that the hair is transparent. I like that effect. I don't think I've paid attention enough for the other characters that we've reacted to so far that would have an effect like this. That's a really nice touch. Same thing with the eyebrows too. It's almost see-through. Though I think there's a good reason behind it, and it's to illustrate that the hair is supposed to be not necessarily see-through, but it's trying to simulate real hair. Because if you look around like this side, you can see that you can see that the hair is solid. But if you move more like this, it pretty much just comes back into view. That is something that I don't usually see games do all that often. And you know what? Maybe for a good reason, because why would you want to do this? What purpose does it serve? It's hard to say whether or not to change the color of the tail, because I'd argue that the tail closely matches up with her outfit, but then it doesn't match up with her hair, though. I think that's the only issue that I have. It's not a particularly big issue, but no, well, I don't think it's that bad, actually. No. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So, you know what? I'll allow this one. And then outfit-wise, yeah, this looks quite nice. I like the floofs of the ears, and then, yeah, the hair clip right there. There's like bits of white if you pay attention to her hair. Yeah, this is a particularly good design. So this will be a 9 out of 10. The character that we just got recently, Hanya, she also does have her toes out for free too. This actually does look really cool. From the back, it also looks quite nice too. The armor, well, the shoulder, well, you know what I mean. Like the armor that she has on her arms, yeah, the cufflinks too. Well, yeah. Well, now the bracelets, is it? No, I don't know. I don't freaking know. And then right here, right where her thigh is, I cannot tell if that's part of the outfit or if that's a tattoo that she has, an insignia that represents, I don't know, maybe like either a clan or something that she's bound to. It is a nice touch regardless. Yeah, the chain right here. The eyes in particular are unsettling, but I think that's the point. There's a question that I do have in mind, and it's whether or not to cut the ponytail or not, because I'm trying to figure out if that's actually the right call or not. Because if you just look from the front, it just looks like that she has a bob cut, which I actually am quite a fan of. Once you look from behind, you do realize that she has a ponytail, but at the same point, the ponytail does complement the outfit, especially if you consider the clothing that she does have on the ends of the side armor. It does match up. So I think, yeah, for this one, just leave that alone. And as for the overall outfit, it'd probably be a 9 out of 10. All right, so now the rest of them. So do I go up or down? I do remember seeing Arlen, so we're gonna start. Hey, you know, we'll just start from here. That's fine. All right, Arlen from the Herta space station. I do remember seeing him around. This man is just a combination of Razor and Sino from Genshin Impact. And that's not meant to be an insult either. I actually like this combination. But they just had to ruin it with the rat tail. Bro. Just his hair like this is fine enough, game. Why do you gotta ruin it with rat tails? And then his design, I do think that, yeah, there's a lot to love about Arlen's outfit. It's a unique touch in comparison to Astra's outfit, or I guess rather uniform. Might be because of the blue, maybe because he's tanned, but I do love the overall outfit. The blue complements the overall outfit. And as such, this would definitely be given an 8 out of 10. All right, Lynx. Who the hell are even you? Okay, blue tights, and then you also have... She looks very comfy. I think it's because of her outfit, but she looks very comfortable wearing that. Like, you'll never be cold in an outfit like this. She does look really cute. Is that a whistle? That is a whistle. Okay. Then her little canister. The backpack also looks nice too. I don't know if I agree with the ribbon attached to the backpack. It is inconsequential though. She weirdly just looks like a normal girl. If you told me she was an explorer, I would think otherwise. 7 out of 10. Gwynafin, however you want to pronounce it. I get where they're coming from. I get where the designers are going for, but there's just something about utilizing peach colors with an outfit like this. There's just something about it that doesn't seem to feel right, especially if you use contrasting colors like red and then you got turquoise over there. I get it. It represents the jade. It's not a particularly bad design all around, but this does get a 6 out of 10 for me. Chuyi, don't know how you pronounce that. Are those tights? Those are tights. Yeah. Ooh, I didn't even see that. Yeah, that's crazy. Like you have a demon mask just right on her torso. That's a crazy thing to have. I actually like how detailed that is. If only I can actually move the camera downward. Just admire the details. The hair, yeah, the hair I actually quite like. Ooh, wait, is it double layered? It's double layered. You can see it. Because you see one layer over here, then you see another layer where the blue is. The blue and the red together form one layer, and then you have another layer that's brown and red. That is such an interesting design choice. The combination of colors used here in comparison to the last character that we just saw, Gwynafin, however you want to pronounce it, this one actually complements each other rather than contrast against each other. This is the effective use in color that I actually do approve of. The red and the turquoise right there too. Yeah, the little tassels. No, those aren't. Are they tights? No, yeah, they're tights. Yeah, I was wondering because I saw the bottoms of as well, but no, that's just part of the shoes, the boots. So yeah, those are just tights. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I'm not a particular fan of, and it's just the tights. If she got rid of the tights, I probably would be more receptive towards it. But this is still a really good design overall. I think had it not been for the tights, she would have been a 10 out of 10 character design. But as it stands, it's going to be a 9 out of 10. Still high, but it could have been so much better. Mose. What the hell kind of name is Mose? Definitely looks like an assassin. Facially, he doesn't seem that interesting. But his overall outfit definitely speaks to me. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Although I will say, he just looks like a cooler Sanpo. Just in terms of color use and character design. The red sash is also doing wonders. The feathers, I mean, they could stay. They're not. It's not particularly bad. I do see that he has scars on his bandaged arm. That's cool. I mean, they're still gonna be a 7 out of 10 though. Galaga, what the hell? Now this is a man. Yeah, he definitely looks like he's gonna kick someone's ass. Bro, this is something I rarely see in these types of games. A guy having a stubble. I'm starting to understand why characters don't have, why anime characters particularly don't have stubbles, because it just looks like someone just drew lines on their face. Look, I admire the attempt. I admire the attempt of someone trying to work with what they got, but it just looks like pencil marks, man. And the outfit, it's not bad. Yeah. It actually isn't that bad. I'm not so sure what the history is behind this character, but I would give this guy a 7 out of 10. It would have been a 6, but I admire the attempt in trying to make a stubble. It can't be that easy to do without making it look like it was a rush job. All right, Misha. That's a boy, right? A well-behaved young man. Ah, okay. Well, there you go. Jesus Christ, I'm starting to be like my mother. I can't tell what's a guy, what's a girl. Damn, the people were right. This dude kind of looks like Farina. A bellboy, a hotel bellboy, a Peter Cody. Well, he does look like a bellboy, I'll say that. Although I imagine if he had actual pants, it would be far better. That's just me, though. I get why he has... Well, why would I even say that, actually? No, I don't get why he has shorts. That can't be comfortable. 7 out of 10. And now that we covered all of the 4 stars so far, then head on over to the 5 stars that we do have. Starting with, well, I guess technically speaking, yeah, I guess technically speaking, the Trailblazer. There's a male and female variant, but I don't think I even have access to the male variant, do I? Yeah, it's just gonna be the female variant. Don't pay attention to why she's named Yorichika. For the life of me, even if my life depended on it, I don't remember why I even named her Yorichika. I really do not. It's been so... Brother, just cut me some slack. It's been 2 years since I played. Maybe longer than that. But I will say, though, for a character design like this, ever since I did that rating video with Wuthering Waves, I just keep going back to characters like a Rover, female Rover specifically. And I just can't help but, like, think that, damn, that is such a damn good character design. I just can't believe it. And it's from a main character, no less. As for Trailblazer, female Trailblazer, it's very safe, but not bad. I think more could have been done with the Trailblazer. Yeah, definitely a little bit more. There's just something about the shirt that kind of rubs me the wrong way. I think it's because of the way that it's so uneven, but then you have everything else about her that seems nicer by comparison. Also, why the cyan thigh strap? It's a little distracting. Facially, I mean, it's only all right. A little boring, but I mean, it just gets the job done. This is just gonna be a 6 out of 10. Oh, okay, Himeko. Now this is the one character that I really love. There's gonna be a few more. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get to them. But this is one of the first ones. And Jesus Christ. Now, this is a woman. Absolute woman. Yeah, like the hair. I like for Christ's sake, I love the outfit, man. The accented gold, and then there's also the white as well. She looks very angelic. I'm sure there's a lore reason, but Jesus Christ, woman, that is, wow. Just have a weakness for something like this, you know? A 9 out of 10. Yeah, all that praise, and she gets a 9 out of 10. And there's a good reason behind it. The reason in question. Okay, Kafka. What do you want me to say about Kafka? What do you want me to say? It's the color, it's the outfit, her eyes as well, the smile. She's a woman. And she's, whoa, man. This is more like it. I will excuse the ponytail just because it does complement her hair. I think if there's only one real negative that I do have, it's just the shades. That's it. I'm sorry. I think that the rounded, not even rounded, it's like decagonal glasses. I don't think there's 10 sides on that. I think there's more sides than that. Editor, count how many sides there are in each lens. Yeah, the squish on the thighs as well. That's just enough squish. Those hips, bro. Jesus. You know she's ready for something. You know it. Now this is something I could say. It's a 10 out of 10. Don't at me. You know what? Sure, we'll just go with Archer. This is something that's very interesting. So for those who do not know about me, I still currently am a fan of, well, not necessarily currently a fan. I'm more like, nowadays I'm pretty much a bystander at most when it comes to anything Fate related. Because my introduction with the Fate franchise is through the anime series known as Fate Zero. That's where I got my start with the Fate franchise. I went from Fate Zero, then to Fate's Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. So I know about Archer, I know about Saber. It's thanks to those two shows that I got myself into Fate Grand Order, sunk an ungodly amount of time when it was brand new in the States. Pretty much just went through the first part of the story. And by first part, I mean by the ones that are before the Lost Belt Legacy, the Lost Belt stories. And I thought, damn, that was actually a fun game. And hell, it was even a good story, all things considered. And yeah, I got myself a couple characters here and there, and I also spent some money on it too. Don't act like you're high and mighty. Some of you also spent on stupid shit too. Come on. Though I do have an idea on what Archer looks like, what Saber looks like. And since we're going for Archer, let's go ahead and check him out. So, personally speaking, I think this rendition of Archer looks really cool. Yeah, I think Hoyoverse did an amazing job with what they got, with what they're working with. And for those who are not in the know of who this character really is exactly, because, you know, Archer is pretty much just a class in the Fate universe. So, just for the sake of not spoiling anything, I won't say who Archer really is. Just for this particular video, in case people are like somehow not aware of the Fate franchise as a whole. So this particular Archer, I dig his outfit. Yeah, this is just great. He looks like a mix of the Archer found in Unlimited Blade Works and I probably would say like Dante from Devil May Cry. Yeah, there's a bit of a vibe between those two. It's like you blended them together and you got this. 8 out of 10. Gepard. Look, the only reason why I even like him all that much is because of his gameplay. He was the only one that's able to apply shields. At the time. He was my only defense character, bro. Or at least one that was viable. But in all seriousness, you know, the more I look at it, the more I think it might be a little too busy. There's like way too much going on, especially with the top half of his outfit. There's just a little too much going on. You have the fur here. You also have those badges on said fur. You have like 3 different layers of armor on here. It's probably clothing, but you know what I mean. You have his arm right over there that's like slightly encased in crystal / ice. You have armor right here, more ice right over there. It's not a bad design, but it feels way too busy. Look at this right here. What is wrong with... I think it might be a little too much, right? There is such a thing as overly designed, and I think this character might be a good example of over designing. This is a 7 out of 10. Nah, you know what? No. Wait. Do I bring him down to a 6, actually? No. I think that's way too harsh. So, 7. I think 7. Jingguan. He's very lucky that his burst is as cool as it is. Because design-wise, I don't think I like how muted his colors are. I don't think I like it all that much. It just feels a little too muted to excite. Now, I don't think having brighter colors would improve his design. I don't know, maybe just tune up the saturation a teeny bit. Maybe that might help. Okay, you know what? I think this one definitely deserves a 6 out of 10. Yeah, the colors kind of ruin it. Bailu! Jeez. I forgot how short Bailu it really is. Wait, is she shorter than Hook? I think there's a good chance. There's a good chance she's shorter than Hook. Hold on a sec. I think the only reason why she looks as short is because of Hook's hat. But, geez, that really puts it into perspective how short Bailu really is. Design-wise, I get why that her horns look like so. I get it. I don't hate it either. There's a small tuft of hair that's standing up. You know, I don't particularly hate the design. Especially from the back. Yeah, the back really helps. I don't know so much about the front of Bailu. I don't think it's that great. The back, on the other hand, that's where I think she stands out the most. The tail, especially the little ornament that she has on said tail. She should be a dragon, right? Or a Lamia? I don't remember. I'm sorry. It's particularly cute. That's all I will say. And as such, this will be a 7 out of 10. And here we have my dude. Why are you named the Dr. Ratio? What? I cannot take you seriously, bro. I will say, for a doctor, you work out. What is that arm? Goddamn. Jokes aside, it's not a particularly bad design. But it does seem there's not too much going on with a character like Dr. Ratio. There's only so much I could like dissect without trying to repeat a whole lot of things. The mask itself is a nice touch though. The little jewel that he has on his chest. But why the boob window though? Why is that there? You already done enough with showing off your arm. I don't think you need to show off your pecs too. Just saying. 7 out of 10. My god, where do I even start with this? I think we start at the top, right? Yeah, we start at the top. And then we work our way down. I feel like we're almost... I mean, we're kind of almost there, but not really. Although it doesn't really help that we had a small character pool to begin with, so... At least in terms of, like, characters that I do own. Alright, so, Welt. I do remember him. He was definitely part of the launch cast. Where does he even belong? I will say this. There's a little more to dissect from him compared to Dr. Ratio. I don't think I've seen that many characters that wear glasses Unless I'm stupid. I could be stupid. There is one character that does have glasses, but she doesn't even wear them. Or at least wear them, like, majority of the time. Yeah, so far we don't really have... We haven't reacted to... Well, there's also this as well. There's also Pela as well. Yeah, just Pela so far is the only one that's currently wearing glasses. So, Welt is our other one. It's very simple. But I don't think that's a particularly bad thing in this case. He has something under there. He does look normal. Given what we've reacted to so far, he's the most normal looking character out there. He's not particularly like a superhuman or someone that came from the stars. He just looks like man. Nothing in particular stands out. Yeah, there's not too much to go off of in terms of design. Maybe that's the point, maybe not. All I know for sure that he does not deserve anything below a 6 out of 10. Silver Wolf, or another version of Bronia, which is weird considering we already have a version of Bronia. A member of the Stellaron Hunters, ingenious hacker, and apparently a gamer. I think it's because of the fact that we've had different variations of Bronia, not just within Honkai Star Rail, but also Honkai Impact 3rd. Especially Honkai Impact 3rd. I just don't think that she's as unique compared to... I don't know if people remember this, but there's the Hacker Bunny variant of Bronia that, thematically speaking, is similar to Silver Wolf. And I think because of that, I don't feel that much in particular with Silver Wolf compared to Hacker Bunny and Bronia. She's not a bad design, but because of what I've experienced in the past, I don't think she's that unique. So it's just going to be a 7 out of 10. Okay, so. All right. Okay. So Saber. Now this one I can actually spoil a little bit. Just a teeny bit. So as you can see, yeah, the solitary heroic spirit traverses the long night of fate. The banner of the round table remains unfurled in a dream. Alas, the Night King of Camelot has yet to reach that ever-distant utopia. So for those who do not know, this is pretty much a variant of King Arthur, or in this case, Artoria. Not only is she one of the most recognizable characters in the Fate universe, she's pretty much the de facto character when you think of Fate Stay Night. And personally speaking, she pretty much resembles her past incarnations of the character. There's a little bit more complexity, though I think that might be because this is pretty much a Hoyo versus take on said character. I'm just trying to not be biased. I'm trying not to be biased as someone who is a Fate fan, but I think that, god damn it, they did a really good job. They did a damn good job at translating the character to the Honkai Star Rail game. This is pretty much Artoria, but if she was in the Honkai verse. Yeah, I think like in terms of representation, I think this is the best interpretation of Artoria that she's ever received. Period. And I'm also including whatever incarnations that she has in Fate Grand Order, or hell, even in that. I actually don't remember if she appeared in the Fate Grand Order arcade game. Did she? I think she did. But in any case, though, this is probably the best she's ever looked in a game. Not necessarily in anime, because I think it's a toss-up between Fate Zero or Unlimited Blade Works. Most likely Zero, though. I think Zero had the better interpretation. But again, that might be because of bias. But geez, they actually did a damn good job with trying to translate the character over. This is about as accurate as you can get in terms of differing interpretations. And as such, I think, just based on being as true to the original design as possible, I'd probably give this a 10 out of 10. Okay, Bronia. Yeah, speaking of, here's Bronia right here. Why the triple tornado? What are you trying to achieve here? Nah, there's no way, right? There's no way. There's no way. No way. Absolutely not. I doubt that. She definitely does look like a leader. She's definitely one that does seem to... that she does appear to lead a city. Or country, I suppose. Again, with the slight over-design... Well, actually, no. Not over-design. She doesn't necessarily suffer the same design failures as Gepard. I don't think so. Aside from her hair in the back, I don't think she's overly designed. At least not in comparison to Gepard. Because with Gepard, he has way too many materials that don't necessarily mesh well together with each other. Whereas with this one, she does appear to be designed enough to the point where it doesn't feel like that she's like that she's overcompensating for something. And as such, I think she's going to be... Where would she be? She would probably be an 8 out of 10. Alright, Seal. I think she's one of the last characters that I wanted that I unfortunately never ended up getting. I actually don't remember if I quit because of that or not. The use of pastel here is nice. Well, not necessarily pastel, but more like the blending of the purple, cyan, and white goes over well for this one. Ooh, I didn't even realize she's wearing a scarf. That's cute. And she has a bandana on her arm. That's cool design. That's a cool idea. Is that a belt? Bro, she's gonna whip someone to submission. Seriously. I don't know if I agree with that's another line. Bruh. I mean, it's not as exaggerated compared to Sampo, but it is definitely noticeable, especially if you look at it closely. I think the only complaint that I have is the fact that she has like what I think it looks like a swimsuit. I don't know what, and then combined with the shorts, a leotard. I think that's what it's called. I don't know about this. Looking at it with an analytical eye, I'm not so sure if I particularly agree with the torso being the way it is. Everything else I do agree with, though I think maybe except for this one right here. Yeah, I don't know if I particularly agree with that. Just looks like marshmallows. 7 out of 10. Lara. It's just too bad we don't have her robot. I forgot the name. I won't lie to you. I forgot the name of the... Farsbog? Is that the character's name? Farsbog? I don't remember. Svarog? Okay, there we go. Svarog. That's the robot's name. Now, with that said, with Clara, brother, I can't help it. Clara just looks too adorable to say anything negative. I'm just gonna say that straight up. Look at her, bro. The red and white. She just looks too damn cute to say no. Look at her. How can you look at this and say no? That plus she's got a robot bodyguard, so I just have no choice but to give her a 10 out of 10 just so I don't get killed. Just saying. I don't make up the rules, I just follow them. Okay, Topaz. And Numby. I don't friggin' know. Alright, Topaz, let's see what we got here. Damn! God damn! What are you packing? Yeah, again, I hate the fact that I'm such a sucker for this type of color combination in between red and black, because it actually does look effective. And it looks like they used a different texture for the red. It looks shinier compared to the rest of her outfit when using the blacks. Then her face. Ooh, okay, I see. Yeah, so she has a communicator on her ear. That's actually that's a cool detail. Yeah, I think design-wise it's actually just kind of cool. So this will be a 9 out of 10. Luocha. Is that really his name? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can vibe with this. Yeah, the color of the eyes, I do kind of like it. He's not overly designed, so that's good. And the suit, though. The suit actually fits him. Looking dapper as hell. But yeah, as I mentioned before, definitely not over-designed. I can excuse the hair back over here. I can actually excuse it. This is gonna be another 8 out of 10. And now we have Blade. I don't know. Here, I will say this. The top half of his body, I think this can work. I do think that the top half of his body does look really nice. It's just that when you also include the bottom half of his outfit, I think that's when that's when the fit kind of falls apart. If he had matching pants, I would be more forgiving, but he doesn't. It just looks like he just stole someone's pants and just wore it on top of whatever the hell he wants. At this point, I don't think he cares about whether or not he gets looks or not, just so long as he has some pants. But yeah, top half, if the bottom half also matched, I would give this an 8 out of 10. But because we have this as a whole, I would probably give him a 7 out of 10. Fuxuan. Such an adorable little girl. That came out wrong. Jesus Christ. I swear to Christ, I am not that kind of person. I swear to God. Okay, moving on. For God's sake. I'll go and cancel myself later after this video. She does look adorable. I will say that. The pink, for God's sake, I actually do like the pink. And not just that, though. I do think that, thematically speaking, I actually think that Fuxuan is one of the better designed characters that we've seen so far. I'm sure there's going to be far more, but in terms of what we're looking at right now, I do think that Fuxuan is one of the better designed characters that we have so far. Everything that she has on her, from the accessories, the tights, and then you also have the outfit as a whole, the way that the hair is styled. I just can't help but think back to 90s hairstyles in anime. I don't particularly remember what kind of character would wear something like this. Maybe the editor can just give a couple examples here and there of what I'm talking about. Maybe something like Tenchi Muyo or whatever the sort. But this definitely does have some vibes of 90s anime. And as such, I'm gonna go and give it a 9 out of 10. Yanqing, I never want him, period. Though if I did get him, it's not like I'm going to yell at the sky just saying, "Why God? Why have you given me Yanqing?" It's not a particularly bad design, but I think if you move close to his face, there's just something about it that doesn't seem to feel right. It just looks like more could be done with his face. He weirdly just looks like a stereotypical adventurer. The one that kind of goes like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go on an adventure." I feel like he looks like he has one of those types of personalities that's very cliche. Design-wise, not that bad, but it's still a 6 out of 10. Jing Lui. Wait. Okay, so you're telling me her splash art does not have her wear a blindfold, but now you have her in a blindfold. You what? Sure. And you know, strangely enough, I think the blindfold actually makes things a little better. I think I would actually prefer to see that than like her not in a blindfold, you know? It's good. And I know it's good because there's definitely some details here that the artist has definitely paid attention to, whether it's from the ends of her clothes, and then you also have the different kinds of blue that's on the outfit, the teardrop accessory that's on her back, and then you have the flower. A lot of it is pretty good. The bow back over here, that's a nice touch. And yeah, even though I did meme a teeny bit on the blindfold, it's actually not that bad. I think I would rather keep the blindfold on her than what would be found on her splash art. So overall, not a bad design. I'd probably put her on an 8 out of 10. Okay, so this is a different variant of Dan Heng. Imbibitor Lunae. Whatever that means. Well, he did get an upgrade. I will say that. In comparison to this variant right here, I'd say... Oh yeah, it's a good enough upgrade compared to what he did get. Compared to what he started off with. I had a feeling about this guy hiding something. And I knew it. It was him growing up. Yeah, I think I do like his outfit here. Not just his outfit though, but I think the hair also helps out too. Did he always have ears like that? I think he did, right? No, he never did. He just has normal ears. So then... Yeah, so these ears are new. Huh. Well, what do you know? I mean, I don't hate it either. Gotta be an 8 out of 10 again. Whoa, whoa. Okay, we're off to a really good start. Why? The socks. That's it. Or is it leg warmers? Regardless, we're off to a really good start if that's what I'm looking at first. Let's see. Outfit wise, you can tell she's seen some shit. And are those paws on her iris? Those are paws. If only I get to see what's under her feet. Does she also have paws down there too? Yeah, big ball right down there. And... Ooh. How ethereal. A timid and weak girl who is afraid of all kinds of strange things, but is responsible for luring and subduing evil spirits. Ah, okay. She does look unique. She's unique. The detail of the hat. Aside from her leg warmers, this is the other thing that I think makes her stand out from the rest. And it's that she has a unique face. Her eyes are different in comparison. Also, the use of color here is what God damn it, I actually gravitated towards this one. And are those seals on her tail? Wow. This is really damn close. She's not a 10 out of 10, but she's really damn close. Like a 9.5 out of 10. Jiao Q. I don't like the way he looks at me like that. Yeah, his eyes are closed on the splash art too. Oh. Okay, well, at least I don't have to back up from menus like that. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, wait. Okay. The front is whatever, but the back though, I think the back is far more interesting. He has the hairpins right over here. I don't know if I agree with the braid, but you know what? I guess I could allow that. Yeah, the gradient between colors is also nice here. Same thing with the tail. Oh, fluffy. And the use of teal right here as well. I don't know if I agree with that, with the use of teal against the red. Never looked that good, honestly. Except for maybe like a rare time when it did work. It's like maybe a 6. Hey, Xiao. Another fox character. So many fox. At least I think. No, she hides a tail. What? What's with the ears then? Whatever. Unless she cut them. It really sucks that I have to do this because I think her face does look nice, but her outfit, there's a few things to unpack here. So the ears, I like the ears. I do like them. Same thing with the ponytail as well. Like, I kind of like the gradient. Her top, not particularly her jacket, but her top does look quite nice. I like the style. I like the pattern. The jacket does, while it does look a little over designed, I can live with that. Especially considering that it extends downward. I don't mind the shorts, but what I do mind is this area right here. The pleated skirt. I know that it's not the only thing that's visible here, but you can tell it kind of stops halfway. I don't know why it stops halfway, but there you go. That's not something I would agree with. Either commit by having the skirt wrap around or just don't show it at all. Just have her on shorts. That's it. Either keep the shorts and get rid of the skirt, or just get rid of the shorts and just keep the skirt. Pick a lane, damn it. 10 out of 10. Yunli. Aww, another short one. Damn, and she's got the grippers out. What the hell? She does look adorable. I really can't tell if that's part of her skin or... whatever. The use of colors here is definitely far executed better in comparison to what we saw earlier with Zhao Q. I think Yun Li, in terms of using red and a particular shade of green, is far better executed here than what Zhao Q was capable of offering. I think the only point of contention that I do have is just the hair, because I think the front side of the hair looks good. If she kept it like this, it would be a higher score. But once you turn around and you have this, yeah, I'd say just get rid of that. Just chop that, donate it to someone else. I don't know who. But as it stands, it's an 8 out of 10. Ling Sha. Who? Why are her feet like that? Actually, why her arms are like that too? Hello? There's just something about it that I'm not a fan of. I think it's just that her arms and legs are gradient as well. I'm sure there's a lore reason behind the way that she looks, the reason why her body parts are like that, but it just doesn't look right. If they were normal, sure, I could excuse that, but I don't want to come off as saying that I should probably put this in a lower end of maybe 6 or 5 even, because I'm sure there's a reason why her limbs are the way they are, but this is like maybe a 6. Fugwe. Gee, I wonder what she looks like. Okay, so here's the thing. I heard about what happened with Ting Yun, so I guess I have a pretty good idea what happened with Fugwe-ish. Again, all surface level, but I have heard about it. And all things considered, this is just an upgraded version of Ting Yun. Massive upgrade. Amazing upgrade. This is just even better. This is just a better version of Ting Yun. Between the blacks and the red, the gradient over here on her wear, the gold. Maybe slightly over-designed, but still good nonetheless. The inside as well, if you actually pay attention, that actually looks quite nice. The tail kind of ruins it, but you know what? I'll also excuse that as well. The only thing that could escalate this to a 10 would likely be still 9. Argenti. Okay, all right. You know what? I'm a fan of this. I like the armor. The red looks a little too solid for my tastes, but I don't hate it. Especially if the red would eventually turn into a darker red. That I'll accept that. Yeah, this dude is ready for war. Potentially. A Paragon Knight of the Knights of Beauty. Well, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Knights of Beauty. Bro, this dude is beautiful as all hell. So, yeah, whoever is the leader of the Knights of Beauty, they chose right. So this is a 9 out of 10. Ron May. Let's see. She's not bad. But I think it's because of that we just reacted to Fugwe and Argenti. Ron May kind of looks plain by comparison, which is unfortunate because I think that had it not been for those characters, I would be a little more receptive towards her because, like I said, she's not badly designed. I think that the slight use of pastel colors here works effectively with the outfit that she has, and then the use of greens and blues also work particularly well. I didn't realize that she has pearls on her. Might be the only thing that's a little off, but again, I'll just excuse that. She's pretty. She's really pretty. Like 8 out of 10 pretty. Adventurine. He doesn't look all that inspirational. I get what kind of theming they're going with when it comes to Adventurine, but nah. I don't think I vibe with this character at all. You can see the casino motifs between the club and the heart, the roulette wheel over here. Is it a club? Is it a spade? I don't friggin' know. I just know that just even his belt over here, his belt buckle, it's a roulette as well. It's kind of boring, honestly. Like a 5. Dude's a 5 out of 10 in terms of character design. In comparison to the characters that we have reacted to, he's a 5 out of 10. And I'm sure there's going to be far more better characters out there the more we go deeper. Sparkle. Or Hu Tao, however you want to say it. Well, I say that, but I would argue that she is... Jesus. Yeah. The hell are you looking at? Yeah, this actually does look like a nice outfit to have. The use of colors here, then they also have the outfit itself. It is a little shorter for my particular taste. The outfit itself, not the character. You can't really do much with the character in terms of changing her. Well, you know, if her outfit was a little longer, I probably would say if it extended towards just above her knees, I think I would be more receptive towards it. But as it stands, it's still good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that as it stands, it's an 8 out of 10. Blacks. What is that? What is that? What is that voice crack? Black Swan. Not feeling one way or another. Whoever you are, you're not replacing Kafka. Not much is for sure. I know that she has her fans, so I will not take that away from them. The veil is a nice touch. I think if she had some robes, if she had a robe, and if she had a tome on her side, I think this might be a better designed character. Let's say it extends from where this little part of the outfit is. If it extends all the way there, I could see a bit of mysticism compared to what I'm seeing right now. It's not a particularly bad design. I mean, brother, it shows off her curves, man. So I'm not one to complain about it all that much, but I'm just saying that you could ask for more. And as it stands, I probably would say a 7 out of 10. Arctron, I don't know. I liked the design of her eye. Yeah, especially like deep right in there. Nice. And then overall outfits. Ooh, hey. Yeah, this sash right here. Yeah, this is actually really, that is a good design right there. The flames right here. You got bits of metal on there. These people really like their shorts, don't they? The one accessory on the side of her head, and then the boots. I don't know why they insist on asymmetry on footwear, but you know what? The same thing can be said with the asymmetry on the top half of her, so you just pick and choose. Though, weirdly enough, though, I think it does appear to be balanced, all things considered. When you consider that this leg is, well, this boot is longer compared to this, but then on the other side, this is covered while this is more uncovered. So in a weird way, it is a little more balanced when you take a step back and look at the bigger picture. It's an 8 out of 10 though. Robin. It really sucks that I can't take her seriously anymore, especially with all of the memes that came out of Robin in regards to this character. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, but putting that aside, what am I looking at here? A Holovian singer. That checks out, especially with the musical note that she has on here. The use of color here is nice. And I do like her wings that are just tucked behind her head, that are just sticking out. The 3 dots she has under her eyes are a nice touch. Same thing with the eyes over here. You can see that there's 3 prongs on there. A little halo that she has that look to be styled like an instrument. There's something a little off about the overall outfit though, especially when it comes to like the torso area that goes all the way down to her knees. There's just something about it that doesn't feel right. Yeah, a little bit of asymmetry going on too, especially where the hands are concerned. Overall, I don't hate it, but it is going to be a 7 out of 10. Firefly. Now this is a character I know I heard about for so long. God damn it, she's so cute. I think I've heard everyone talk about Firefly so much. Like, it's gotta be sickening at this point just to even, like, think about it. But at the same point, when you look at her design, can you blame them? I mean, for Christ's sake, this actually is a nice looking design. She isn't necessarily wife material, but she is daughter material. I think that's the best way to describe Firefly, at least based on from what I've seen and then from what I've heard about. She looks nice overall though. With the browns and then the green again. There's not too much going on when it comes to Firefly, but I personally would think that a design like this deserves an 8 out of 10. Sunday! Sunday and Robin are related, right? I'm only assuming. I'm only saying that because of the wings. Just saying. Now see, here. This is what I was talking about when it comes to designing a Black Swan and Sunday. So, if Black Swan had Sunday's robes and she has a tome on the side, I would say it works out a little better-ish. Just a teeny bit. And looking at this in particular, yeah. The white and blue with the way that it's styled, I do think that it actually matches up quite well. Although it does look like he got half of one suit and then the other half, he has to like, he only managed to dye one half of it because he can't afford the other half. I don't know. Overall, not bad. Ooh, he pierced his wings. Yeah, you got the halo right there too. This is another 8 out of 10, honestly. All right, Jade. What? That's a hat right there. Maybe a little too try-hard given the blue pattern with the triangles. It's a little distracting, actually. Yeah, the ends of her dress, like from here all the way down over here, the way that it's styled, I am a fan of that. Thigh strap right down over there too. I don't know if I agree with the hair, with the way that the gradient looks. That's a big ass hat now that I'm looking at it. Bro, it looks like it covers up, it pretty much just extends it from like here to there. It just looks like it could just swallow up her entire body. The iris also looks different too. That's a nice one. This is a 9 out of 10. Boot Hill. Damn. Where are you going, Space Cowboy? This guy is more machine than man. A cyborg cowboy. Oh, okay, well, there you go. I need to learn to read. He would fit perfectly in a sci-fi western. Definitely a decorated guy. I don't know. His flamboyant and brash actions were all to draw the attention of Inner Astral Peace Corporation, the target of his revenge. Bit of a badass. A little too try-hard, but definitely a badass. An 8 out of 10. Rappa. God damn. Lady, what are you wearing? Do you even have anything underneath those shorts? Is it even worth... You know what? I'm not even going to pay more attention to that. She does look a little off, though. If this was in Jet Set Radio or Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, I probably wouldn't think too much about it. But considering it's in a game like Honkai Star Rail, I don't know if the character fits the world. Still, it's pretty cool. It's a 9 out of 10. With the way that the helmet looks, that's not even a helmet. Is it a helmet? No, it's just a hat. What am I saying? The use of red right over here. Yeah, this is definitely deserving of a 9 out of 10. Damn, we're almost there. The Herda. This is definitely the one. The mother of all Herdas, I would assume. Well, the description isn't wrong. Young, beautiful, attractive. Definitely am a fan of this. She looks like a mage. A kinky mage, but a mage nonetheless. The use of purple here, I should do like the purple, the blacks. Oh, and the design of the hat itself, the way that it almost mimics a galaxy. He's got a galaxy brain in there. I can't prove it, but you can't prove otherwise. 9 out of 10. Aglaia. Damn, lady. So much gold. She just looks like a Greek goddess. And that is not a bad thing at all. I mean, wow. Maybe slightly over-designed, but... brother, I'm a sucker for this. Based on the overall character design, it's conceptually simple. But the details that surround the character is magnificent. This is definitely a 10 out of 10 right here. Tribble. The hell am I looking at? Why the hell does this look freaky compared to the other tiny characters that we've seen? Bailu, at the very least, still looks relatively normal. And then you got Hook that looks adorable as all hell. But then you go down to Tribble. What the hell am I looking at? You do not belong in this world. Everything else about the character looks fine. A little too over-designed, but all things considered just fine. But then you look at her face. I don't know. Just something about it just seems so unsettling. It's like her stares just stare right into your soul. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. No. That's a little too creepy, even for someone like myself. Had it not been for the face, if it was fixed up a little more, I probably would give this a 9 out of 10. No, not even that. Not even a 9. Maybe an 8 at best. But this is going to be a 6. My day. Me day. This is just Gilgamesh. Speaking of Fate Stay Night, this dude is just Gilgamesh. Bro just looks unapologetically like Gilgamesh. But that doesn't mean I hate it, though. And in fact, I probably would say that the design itself isn't that bad either. If there's one thing I gotta complain about, though, it's the gradient on his hair. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if it was just pure blonde, I would be okay with that. If it was pure orange, I would also accept that too. A gradient between the two? Yeah, not my thing. It ain't my thing. The red tattoos are pretty good. The flames here as well. The sash. Just the overall wear and armor. This is pretty damn good. It's pretty cool. I probably would give this a 8.5 out of 10. Anaxa. He just sounds like a medication.
Not quite sure how to...
Shut up. It's because of the name that it triggered my echo, bro. But yeah, that just sounds like a medication. Maybe Xanax. Very scholarly. Ooh, wait. Okay, you know what? I like the touch of his eye patch. The fact that it looks like an eyeball. Whoa. Ooh, yeah. I think it's because of the zoom in, but pay attention to his chest area. Yeah, see that it moves? I don't think that was the intent, honestly. No, I don't think that's the intent. But that is an interesting effect. And the overall outfits, the back looks exquisite. Same thing with the front. There's not a lot to hate about this character at all. I do think that design-wise, this looks fantastic. His command seals might be a point of contention, though. But all things considered, it's a 9.5 out of 10. Real close to perfection, but he's just right there. Cypher. Damn! Lady! Why so thick? The cat. Yeah, cat character. I don't like the back. I don't like the back. Honestly, personally speaking, it's not necessary to do so. There's something about this hole here that is very unsettling. I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like. And I'm not going to comment on it any further. Just saying. Damn it, if only I can actually move closer to her legs. Because it's like, I don't know why it's even styled like that. Like, it's barely functional. Now, seriously, what the hell is up with her thighs? It's chunky compared to the rest of her body. I know there is a fan base for a character like this, but I ain't one of them. This is a 7 out of 10 at best. Casterus. The use of purple here is very effective. A little busy in the back for my likes. Maybe a little too busy, actually. Because you have flowers over here, you have the white design right over here, the lining as well. Not only do you have hair that's like tied right over here towards like the end of the tails, but you also have the way that the hair is styled like on the back here. That is some major maintenance to keep up with, man. Like, people will hate to be in the position that this woman has in terms of hair care. And even on the front here, it does seem particularly busy. Not as much as the back, but there's definitely some unnecessary elements here that could be trimmed down a bit. Got too many flowers right over here. You got like, okay, you know what? The butterfly is a nice touch. I will give it that. I do like the face. The little crown here is a nice touch as well. A lot of it is just way too busy, man. I get it. I do get why, but it's just, there's just way too much of like so many things going on. It got to a point where not all of it seems to match up correctly. So as such, I don't want to give it a 5, but I don't want to give it an 8 either. It would be a 6.5 out of 10. I think that's a fair thing to say, because I feel that a 7 would be too high, and a plain 6 and a 5 would be too low, especially considering the amount of effort that went into this character. Considering that you also have little details like the burn marks over here, and you also have the butterfly on the side. So I don't want to hate on it, like completely hate on it, but I also don't want to give it too much credit, because I can't help how I feel about over designing a character. So as such, it's going to remain a 7, a 6.5 out of 10. Painon. Didn't we have a character that I reacted to in Tower of Fantasy that almost looks like this? I think we do. It's either this one or Wuthering Waves, but I'm leaning more towards Tower of Fantasy, I believe. I like it. I don't love the design. The coat is nice. The pauldrons, okay, uneven, but I do like it. The irises, the eyes, it's in general looks nice. There's not too much to like about it, but there isn't too much to hate about it either. I'd say that this is a 7 out of 10 character, though. Hyacinth. She just looks like Pastel Barbara. Because here's the thing. My brother is currently editing this video. If he ever does reach this part of the video, he's going to look at this character and say, yes, this is a character that I will gravitate towards. I will love her, I will cherish her, and I will relinquish all of my personal belongings and any of my mortal belongings to someone like her, to someone to Hyacinth. I don't think she would be top 5, but she would be top 10 for my brother. And you know what? I don't blame him, because the overall design, yes, I did say that she looks like a Barbara copy, but there's enough elements to differentiate her from Barbara in Genshin. There's only a little bit, but because from a distance, if you take the silhouette and put it next to Barbara, you can tell that there is some similarities between their designs. I actually do like the use of red, the types of red that they're using in combination with the pastel colors. Little cherries over on her arm right over there, the cape, and hell, you know what? The shoes and stockings as well. Yeah, this is actually a really nice design. I personally would give this a 8 out of 10, and I get the feeling my brother might put her in. I'm just gonna make a bold prediction here and say 9 out of 10. Hi Silence, Hisselins. I don't know. Okay, first impressions. She looks wicked, bro. What? Whoa! Her torso. Wow. Now that's cool. That's kind of dope. The water effects like on her torso are actually like mesmerizing to look at. It almost looks like that you're peering through her body. You can almost make out her ribs. I don't think that's her ribs. I don't know if it is or not, but it just looks like that you're looking at the insides of Hyacinth. Hyacinth, or how, look, no, regardless of the name, you can tell that you're seeing her through an X-ray, and this is what you see. That is actually a cool design. Her hair accessories are a little much, just a teeny bit. This design right over here almost looks like a swordfish. Her face is not much to write home about, but you know what? It's a really good design. I see that we have an imperfection here. Well, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but this part of her stocking just tore in comparison to the rest of her stockings, right? In comparison to what's over here. Overall, it is impressive, especially with what they're able to do here. So this would be a 9 out of 10. So Rydra. Definitely fish-like. It is cute. I do like the design. Yeah, there are hints of purple here. Yeah, you could tell because of the dress over here. You also have the chest piece, I would presume. I mean, it looks like a chest piece from here. Then you also have the purple right over here, where her where her emblem is, I would presume. Yeah, another one right over here. They do stick out, but I'd argue that it matches up with the outfit far more than what other purple that we have seen so far. Well, I mean, in terms of utilizing the pastel colors. Yeah, this is a nice touch as well. Yeah, flames on here. This is overall like a 7 out of 10. And finally, we have Evernight. Gee, I wonder what she looks like. This is such a big mystery. Okay, so here's the thing. I posted an image on my Discord that I was going to do a rating video on Honkai Star Rail. And one of my commenters pretty much just said, whatever you do, don't look at the gacha banner, but just to avoid spoilers. But the problem with that, though, is that when you open up the launcher of the game, you do see the character Evernight. And I'll be real with you, even before that, I already have a pretty good idea who Evernight is exactly. For the sake of this video, I won't spoil it, but if you already know, you already know, so I can't really stop that. But again, though, we're not here to judge gameplay or story, lore, or anything of the sort. We're here just to judge the character design, and... It's an uncanny resemblance to that one other character that we reacted to earlier on. It's basically that character, but evil. And as far as evil incarnations go, or presumably evil. I'm not so sure if she actually is or not in that lore. But if you're going to do an evil version of an existing character, this is probably the best way to do it. Not what I would say perfect. I think there would be an adjustment or two made before I could say it's a 10 out of 10. For one, pick one lane or the other. Either this is a coat or this is a dress. Which is it, game? And if you're going to turn it into a coat, then at the very least, have this copy pasted to the other side and then call it a coat. And then you could have this as a small dress. Again, though, I do not hate it. In fact, I probably would give this an 8 out of 10 as well. The only real problem that I do have with some of the character designs in this game is that after a while, when you start rating some of the characters here, a lot of them just blend together so easily. It's almost hard to differentiate which character is which. I mean, example, look, I get it. There's a very good likely reason lore-wise that Ting Yun looks similar to Fugui. No one is denying that. I don't think anyone would ever deny that. But if you're someone like myself who hasn't played Honkai Star Rail for a long time, and you come back and see that there's like plus 70 characters on this game, and you also see that there's like some elements that are borrowed from one character and then peppered into a lot of these other characters as well, not just within Honkai Star Rail, but also within other of their games, whether it's Honkai Impact 3rd or Genshin Impact. They start to bleed into one another. And while I don't think that's a particularly bad thing to do, because listen, I'd rather see some consistency with character designs than not at all, or have the Tower of Fantasy problem where a lot of the characters don't look like they belong in the game, let alone the genre. But then you also have a homologation of like character designs that bleed into one another, that you start to get yourself confused as to what character is which. Because here, example, Link Sha and then also Ruan Mei. From an outsider's perspective, they almost look similar to one another. And yes, and while lore reason, there's a reason why Fugui and Ting Yun look similar, but for someone like myself, I don't know that. I do not have that that encyclopedic knowledge I even know if they were actually related to or not, if this is the same character, if something else entirely would actually make a link between those two characters, between Fugui and Ting Yun. And while there are unique designs in this game, whether it's in the form of Jade or Firefly or Rappa as well, Agli also looks kind of cool as well. The Herda too. Same thing with Anaxa and Castoris. There's characters here that I do think that overall, on the whole, they are good looking. Some of them actually are. Their interpretations, like Hoyo versus interpretations of crossover characters are nice. They are nice to look at. I'm not denying anything. Hell, I'm not even saying that any of the the artists in for this particular game are bad. I'm just saying that a lot of the design cues that are found in a lot of these characters, they borrow from each other one too many times. And for someone like myself who isn't too familiar with Honkai Star Rail, it does get to a point where they don't really feel that unique from each other, because there's some design choices that are familiar from a past character that released some time ago. And a character like Evernight doesn't necessarily help the argument either. And I mean, here, as much as people would clown on Genshin Impact, at the very least, there's character designs in that game that at least appear to be unique. And even when there are interpretations of characters from past games that are integrated within Genshin Impact, they at least make it a conscious effort to differentiate itself from one game to another. And you know what? The same thing can also be said with Zenless Zone Zero. because that game also has unique characters as well. Yeah, they might be like maybe a design choice or two that are familiar, and especially at the time of recording this video, I believe that there's one character in particular whose character design was different compared to the final variation, and it kind of just looks like an existing character. But all things considered, they at least made the conscious effort of trying to be slightly different from each other. Whereas with a game like Honkai Star Rail, yes, a lot of the characters on here do look unique, but there are design choices that carry over into the next character, and it's almost to a fault, kinda. I'd argue that the character designs that we did get in Honkai Star Rail when it first came out, and probably within the first few months, the character designs in that game feel unique. But as time progresses, it just feels like that a lot of the characters that we did end up getting in the future just looks too similar to each other. It's not bad, because I've always made this point where if you can reuse a particular design, if you can reuse levels, if you can reuse characters, or whether it's by design or not, I would personally say that it's smart development to just carry over what worked in the past. But in this case, considering that a lot of the design choices are similar, it doesn't necessarily help in its it's not necessarily at its advantage at all. Now, with that said, do I think that Honkai Star Rail is a bad game because of the character designs? Absolutely not. I am not saying that the game is utter trash. I'm just saying that from an outsider's perspective, as someone who only played this game for at least a good chunk of time, it's not going to make me go back to play more of Honkai Star Rail. If anything, it just makes me want to stick with Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero a little longer. Not even a little longer, like so much more longer. I think even if the character designs weren't even a factor, I've already had my fix with turn-based RPGs, and it's with Fate Grand Order, and it's with Paper Mario, it's with Persona 5. There's plenty of other RPG games that I've played in the past that it's like, I'm sure, look, if you really want to know the reason why I didn't gravitate towards Honkai Star Rail more compared to some of the other gacha games that I played in the past, there is a video out there that I did put out. I do believe that it's still relevant even to this day, aside from like the aside from the whole imaginary argument. That's the only thing that I will say that is considered outdated information, but I still stand by what I said regarding my stance on not playing Honkai Star Rail any further than 2023. But with that said, what do you guys think about the character designs in Honkai Star Rail? Let me know down below. And if you want to see me react to more games in other gacha games, just make me like just let me go and judge other character designs. Go ahead and let me know down below. And if you haven't yet, leave a like, leave a comment, and consider subscribing for more. Until then, take care, guys.